responsibility for the shit they do and say.
He never do. That's what I'm saying.
It's either gonna be the atheist got me mad, made me do it, or God told me to do this. Right? It's gonna be one of them two things, or some derivative of it.
Yes, a G-Man would go through the whole crew just to get dragged. He would go through everybody. Man. Everybody just to get the drag. I don't know. Listen, I'm like, damn, G-Man. Everybody gotta get it. Like everybody. Even you, nigga. If I think you.
Man,
he said, if I think you even talking to drag on the low, you gotta get it. I said,
God damn, man.
I said, damn, G-Man. He said, he got I hate drag.
No, he did not. No, he did not. Don't tell me he said it with that much passion, bro. Was he gritting his teeth? Was his fist balled up?
Oh man, I wasn't looking at him then. I know when you hear G-Man voice straight, like you already know. That's a
I'll be so worried when he be picking up plants and shit, that shit gonna catch fire in his hands.
I am David Attenborough. And this is Todd and Nature. Todd and Nature. Todd and Nature.
I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling. 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 I sell.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Go fuck yourselves. That's right, folks.
I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling. 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 Barrel rolling, barrel rolling. I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling. I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling. I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling.
Because I'm not gonna have the lexicon out there for my name, JWE Revelation News, of having a small fucking dick. I don't. I have a normal size Eastern European slack. I have slack. Shanny, do I hang a bit?
You hang a bit.
Do I flop?
You flop.
See, I got floppage, folks.
Hot damn! Hot damn!
Shanny, you're not a Christian. You're a whore.
I have slack.
Hot damn! Hot damn!
You can't even be honest with yourselves. That's sad.
Because I'm not gonna have the lexicon out there for my name, JWE Revelation News, of having a small fucking dick. Small fucking dick.
Jason.
Small fucking dick. Small fucking dick.
He's got bigger feet than you.
But yeah, you have to say that. Like,
I'm sorry.
yeah, just fucking leave it alone. I don't want people to know that.
Jason, chill out.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Go fuck yourselves. That's right, folks.
I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling. 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 I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling.
Your arguments are stupid.
You're a punk ass bitch.
If we are free, I can go out and kill that motherfucker that I don't like right now.
Your goddamn motherfucking toe!
Can you say it? Say it right now for me.
You're evil fucking woman!
So good night, everybody, and fuck off. Fuck off.
Well, hello there. Let me make sure my volume's good. What's going on, folks? I decided to bring my recliner up here because I could. That's why. I'm probably going to get a ring light because seeing that the light is not exactly how I want it. It's not sufficient. So along with extra padding, I'm probably going to get a ring light to sort of sit up and illuminate this area in particular, because there's a light back behind in this cubby hole, and there's a light up there, and it's still insufficient. So I'm gonna play with that. So anyway, as you all see, that this is my bread and butter, right? The doing Gman stream. That's what I'm actually known for, breaking down this idiot and trying to explain his moronic nature to normal people. And it's something that I take great pride and joy in, because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of forethought to do. It definitely, oh man, let me tell you, it's up there with debunking flat earthers. Anyway, how y'all doing today? So I've left this idiot alone for over half a year. It's probably been 8 months since I've actually really even talked about it at all. But since I have some time, since he's been making a lot of noise, I guess I'll give him a little bit of attention now. We'll see where this goes. It might, hey, we can have another summer at Gman, because why not? I got a lot of new people in the audience who don't know who this idiot is. I'm pretty sure y'all are wondering, why is this guy up at like 4 o'clock in the morning walking around? Well, there's lots on his mind. Below me, you'll see something down here. This is me in the lab. So while we're talking about the topic, which is
Please don't. Yelling in your ear. Please don't yell.
Drag's mind control powers are making me give Drag money. Help me. Also, I love how you are trying to do text setups and my DMs are empty.
Hey, doing text setups? Text setups? What do you mean by that? Text setups. I always hit you up when I don't know. I don't know what you mean by text setups. Is there something? I woke up not too long ago and I'm post-coitus, so I'm not all there. I've not had any coffee today. So the jokes are probably going to go right over my head, just like the other one yesterday, where someone said, looks like I had enough padding, and I did not catch it at all that it was a fat joke, which I did laugh about like after the stream, like after everybody was gone and I closed everything down. I think I walked downstairs and I went, God damn, how did I miss that? So anyway, so that'll probably happen again, probably. Anyway. Oh, text setups. Oh, okay, that's what you mean. Okay. You and spelling. Okay, no. We will talk, Billy. I will take screenshots, or real life screenshots, also known as pictures. I will take pictures, and so we can work together. And I've re-added the fucking padding to my wish list, because I'm going to need more, and so I'm going to have to order more padding and probably find a better, or I'm going to learn how to do adhesives properly, instead of putting the adhesive on the wall and then trying to stick shit to the adhesive, stick the padding to that, put the adhesive on the padding, and then put the padding up there, because 120 IQ. So anyway, now that people have gotten notification on that shit, how are y'all doing? What's going on? Someone told me, I think it was Miss Parker that told me about this video, and she kind of casually mentioned, yeah, he's up again thinking about you. And I'm like, really? Don't say that. That's nasty. When the desperate housewife goes, oh yeah, I've been thinking about drag. You know what? That's cool. I like that. Who doesn't like that? When I hear this guy's thing, it's like, nah. And it's not even the fact that he's a dude. There's plenty of gay guys in my audience who love watching me with my shirt off. There's someone who watches me with the sound off.
The bed anymore. You're small. You're getting smaller.
Go get your damn coffee.
Oh, thank you. I think, well, let me make sure the wife doesn't want anything, and I will get my coffee. I appreciate that. Let me send her a text. Let's see. You want to order coffees and breakfast? How does my mother say breakfast? Breakfast. That's how my mother says breakfast. Okay. So, the title of this video here is.
You better look at the over your behind. Got a mouthful of me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
What is this? This is a fat joke. Do you get it this time? No, I don't. Thank you though, Froze. I appreciate it. Science is now boring according to atheists. Now, some of y'all are like, this title makes no sense. What atheist is he talking about? It doesn't matter. Anytime he says literally anything, just presume he's making it up. There's no fucking, atheist monopoly, not monopoly, god damn it, monolith, holy fuck. There's no atheist monolith out there that we all abide by, right? That's just, that's not a thing, right? If it was boring to me, then I wouldn't
do it anymore. You're small. You're getting smaller.
Can't forget your better half.
Thank you, Maria's World. Exactly. But see, that's the difference between how like my household works and Rev and Shani. Shani is like concerned like feeding her gullet. If I'm going to order something, and this applies to people who visit me. If I'm ordering something, everybody in my domain needs to have something, whether they can pay for it or not. Because if I order something and they can't, like they're just gonna sit there and watch me eat, no, I'm gonna pay for it myself. So that's just how I was raised, right? So you don't do shit like that. And Shani feeding the kids her fucking scraps and Rev feeding the kids their fucking scraps is ridiculous.
G-Bum loves you. He be happy to see you talking about him again. Drag, you made me say this?
Yes, and I will, for those of you who are new, I will explain what the joke is about Sith Lord Drag and Drag made me do this. I will explain that once all these super chats are finally done. Oh, by the way, fuck Kevin.
You better I'm going to be all over your behind. Got a mouth on me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
Oh, Krista, you came up. Oh, okay, Krista. Yeah, that's because you got a big ass forehead. That's why. So I mean, it is what it is. I always talk about people with big ass foreheads. That's just me. I still love you, Krista. Absolutely. You need to send me some of that natural honey you sent, old girl.
Please don't, yo.
Fraud, scams, and G-Man should be an interesting summer.
Yes, Reed. Yes, we talk about all types of things. You should hear what we talk about in Discord. We'll talk about that later. You often come up, Rick with Eyes, but welcome nonetheless. So okay, before we actually begin this, let me just tell people, all right. Some of these people that I review honestly believe that I have supernatural powers. Now, I know what some of y'all thinking, Drag, yeah, you saying it, you being fucking funny. Ha 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 ha, you making a joke just like you make the big forehead joke. No, the big forehead is not a joke. She does have a big forehead. She's still great, but she has a big forehead. But this guy, this guy that you're looking at here, who you can barely see in the dark, he actually honestly believes that I have supernatural powers. That's not a joke at all whatsoever. He legitimately believes that. And he believes that I can influence people into doing things that they would not normally do. There's a long history as to why he thinks that, but needless to say, he's an idiot. He's a moron. It's the fact that people who are close to him, who have integrity, notice that he lies a lot, and I point that out, and then they realize it and they go, holy shit, this Drag guy has a little bit of credence because, yes, this guy is obviously lying.
You better I'm going to be all over your behind. Got a mouth on me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
What's this, Jules? So Mrs. D for enabling my Chick-fil-A addiction. Yeah, she sent you. I looked at her crazy too when she said when you said she sent $10. I was like, the fuck, you sent her $10? I was like, okay, but I didn't know that y'all were just anyway. So, somebody recently who thought it was a joke, and like a lot of people, right? Because who would honestly believe that? Lubis was in a chat with Gman a few months ago, and the claim had come up again that I have supernatural abilities to influence the minds of people. And I said, Lubis, now ask him outright, do you think Dragnauct has powers to influence people's minds? And this motherfucker said yes. I said, Lubis, you thought I was kidding, didn't you? He said, yeah, I thought you were joking. And I said, I'm not joking when I say that. He honestly thinks that I have these powers, but he's not the only person. So when you see people make these jokes or these comments about Dragnauct, Sith Lord Dragnauct, it comes from this guy telling people that I can trick you into doing something or force you to believe something that I guess you wouldn't normally believe. I don't know. I don't know. That's okay. So Now that we've gotten that out the way, let's listen to what this idiot has to say. And as we're doing that, I'm going to play actual science because as a non-believer myself, evidently science is so boring to me that I dedicate an enormous amount of time to it. So there's that.
GTV. I am Gman, your host, and we're going to do another late night video. And this time it's not as cold tonight. We got a nice, I believe that's a 1 in gibbous. It doesn't look like a full moon because the full moon looks a little different. It was more like one of the phases called 1 in gibbous.
Okay, if you watched this and you were wondering what he was trying to say, there's different phases of the moon. One is waxing and the other is waning. He's trying to say waning gibbous.
And I'm out here tonight, got the stars out here. You better believe I'm going to be all over your behind. Got a mouth on me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
Who was this? American Nightmare says your powers made Gary kick those kids off the swing. Absolutely. I'm just an evil motherfucker. I don't know why I keep putting that up there when I'm texting my wife back and forth. Okay, so yeah, it's just evil. I'm pure evil.
Sleep. I don't know if you guys can see it, the little dipper right there. I don't know if you guys can actually see that right there. I think that's a little dipper or the big dipper. It looks like the little dipper. I don't know.
Does anyone see any stars?
No, that's the big dipper. That's not the little dipper. You can see Orion's belt there.
Pitch black.
You can see the 4 stars over there. Jimmy, how do you know about that? Because I actually know something, and I'm not this dummy that everybody keeps telling you that I am. But anyway, guys, welcome to GTV. I am Gman, your host. Let's get into talking about science again for a little bit because, and I'm gonna start doing this late at night because I know it's a lot of my enemies are in bed sleeping, and they're not awake right now, so they can't troll me. So we might be doing this late at night from now on, and we might be avoiding the daytime. So I got to.
So just so y'all know, I've not reviewed this guy in forever. So his enemies, I don't know who he's. I'm guessing he's talking about Black Guy TV and Mrs. Parker, who will stream snipe him occasionally. But Miss Parker does not sleep. But he is intentionally trying to stay up. Mind you, he's trying to stay up just so he can stream unimpeded. How people impede him from streaming, your guess is as good as mine. But fuck, man, like he's on. So just imagine you changing your sleep schedule just so people on the internet won't come in your live chat and tell you things you don't want to hear. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Yes, and yes, he's saying enemies. He has the mentality of probably like a 12-year-old. Maybe I'd give him 13 on a good day, but he's very, very, very immature mentally.
To deal with the trolls in the live chat. I can deal with more reasonable people in my chat at night. So anyway, guys, I want to give you guys a quick story before I get into the actual topic for tonight. You guys ever see me go out there and deal with the Hebrew Israelites on the other channel? One of the things that you'll notice is that I'll ask the Hebrew Israelites a question, and they won't answer it. Especially if their leader tells them to ignore me, I'll go away. This is something that they regularly tell each other on a regular basis.
Okay, I'm glad that he mentions this because I get to mention what I wanted to talk about yesterday. Every year, I have some genius to come by my channel and go,
"You don't make the bed move anymore. You're small. You're getting smaller."
Jules made me hungry for Chick-fil-A. I'm gonna go grab some. You'll be podcast style. Just being out there to make some people mad about the super chat. G-bum Jason Shanny pen and paper and calculator.
Oh, they're checking my pockets. They always check my pockets. That's fine. Thank you. Appreciate it. Go get you some basic bitch food. I mean, Chick-fil-A. Go. Hey, enjoy yourself. You earned it. What the fuck was I saying? I keep saying these super chats. I keep forgetting what the fuck I was talking about. Every year, I have some genius that comes by my channel and goes, "Oh, if you stop talking about him, he'll stop making videos and he'll go away." Every year, somebody does that. It never works. And every year, I purposely leave him alone for an extended period of time just to show people that that's not true. So it's this thing now. It's easier for me to do that and just go, "Hey, when's the last time I made a video about him?" Oh, it's been months and he's still talking shit about people and still mentioning me to people? Okay, well, there we go.
Under orders, I'll say, where's the proof that you're a Hebrew Israelite? I'll say that, why do you misinterpret Deuteronomy 28:68? I'll mention all these different things and whatnot when I'm talking to them. And they'll just stand there and just be quiet. And you could tell they want to answer my questions. You could tell that they want to say something. But they're under orders. And because they're under orders, they have to listen to what they've been told. Because they're soldiers. And the Hebrew Israelites know I know this. And I pointed out as many opportunities as I can. And since they got to stand there and they can't say nothing to me, I'll go stand next to them and I'll preach the gospel of Jesus Christ to them.
Right, so this guy doesn't understand what discipline is. And I'll give it to the Black Hebrew Israelites. Some of them are very, very organized. And I mean, that's how they have certain racketeering rackets. Racketeering, that's kind of redundant. They have rackets going on within some of these groups. And you couldn't really do that unless you have like some sort of order and structure, right, to your organization. And part of that is, having a hierarchy. And then so they arbitrarily give certain members titles like general and shit like that. And so obviously that's the top dog, and he has his little lieutenants and that sort of shit. And so they're in charge of the new members and, telling them what they can and can't do. But Gman has never actually been gainfully employed. And so he doesn't really know what it's like to have sort of a short leash on what you can and can't do. That's sort of one of the I guess better aspects of his life, that he gets paid under the table, if y'all didn't know that, and he can kind of come and go as he pleases. Now, his ties to whatever employment he may have at the time are tenuous at best, but we have restrictions, us adults.
He was asleep and woke up thinking about you. He called GP, who hung up on him, then made this vid. True story.
I heard about that. And actually me, and if y'all did not know, GP and I've been having a few, and I'll say GP, Gentleman Pioneer, Gman's former simpleton, now I guess betrayer, I don't know, they're kind of on the outs right now, but GP and I have actually been having an email correspondence back and forth. And I mean, he's a fairly decent guy once you sort of pull him away from bullshit. And so he let me know certain things, and so that was kind of one of the things, is that Gman would call him in the middle of the night and just like rant about me. And I'm just like, so let me get this right. I'm in bed, I'm probably drooling on my pillow, or I'm balls deep in my wife, and watch anime, literally doing anything besides thinking about this guy. But in the middle of the night, he's up thinking about me. Why? I've not talked about him in ages. I've not mentioned his name unless somebody else did. Why would he do that? Your guess is as good as mine. So,
and there's really nothing they can do about it. You know what I mean? Because they're under orders and they have to listen to what I got to say, and they can't respond. And I pick up on that and I act on it. In the same way,
you better believe I'm going to be all over your behind. Got a mouth on me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
Gman getting lonely.
He is under orders not to debate evolution. They're under orders not to debate abiogenesis. They're under orders not to talk about certain scientific topics with certain Christians on here, because we won't listen. We will never understand. Not fully understanding the power of this medium called YouTube. Not fully understanding how many people could potentially watch them talk about this, and they could possibly sway somebody to their side. And I got something very special for you guys, as I'm going to start bringing people on YouTube.
All right, so if y'all don't know anything about the Black Hebrew Israelites, they're only looking for certain people. You can probably imagine what type of people they're looking for. So their reach is something that they're interested in, but word of mouth is more influential for them than trying to reach out through like the internet, shit like that. Don't get me wrong, the internet's a great propaganda tool for them, but the recruitment sort of happens more on a kind of a one-on-one basis. Like you have somebody that's in the group, and they'll find other black Christians, especially black Christians who have a lot of sort of social anxiety about like racial tensions and that sort of thing, and they feel that maybe their church may not be addressing those aspects of their life, and they may not feel empowered. So the Black Hebrew Israelites will target people like that. Obviously African American descent, or in most cases, not all cases. So they have a target audience. Gman doesn't understand anything about that. And so how these guys operate is sort of a mystery to him, and that's sort of why he's talking shit now, is because he doesn't understand that they're only after certain people. They don't care to just sit next to any old person and run your fucking mouth. But that's what G-Man thinks is efficacious. It's just to run your mouth as loud and as often as you can, and it's just like throwing shit to the wall and seeing what sticks, right? So, but he's been doing this for years, and he can't bring you one person that he's brought to his version of Christianity. Because trust me, it's his personal version of the Christian religion, right? So calling him a Christian is a little iffy, but he has his own theology that's dependent largely upon whether or not G-Man personally deems you as a follower. And it's weird, him making himself the arbiter of that, when I'm pretty sure there's a holy book that says only one entity knows. But anyway.
That are now willing to tell you why they left atheism. I got people in here that's going to tell you just how powerful the discussion actually is. And that's the reason why they don't want nobody talking about no science. But anyway, the same people that said during the great debate days, ladies and gents, the same people that went out there and said, we have to get people more educated, we have to get more science in school, the same people that...
I was one of those people.
That said that we have
actually, I still am one of those people.
To teach people evolution and abiogenesis were the same people that said that science killed God. That's right, they said that science had killed...
Okay, and this is an example of one of the worst arguments I've ever heard, or they even argument, but one of the worst statements I've heard from like the early 2000s. Back when YouTube was very, 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 very young, you had a lot of non-believers saying some really stupid shit, and you still hear some of them say it to this day. I'll give you an example. Yeah, like science killed God. That's dumb. That's not true. Religion is a mental illness is another big one that comes up that's dumb. There's a lot of bad hot takes that a lot of non-believers had, and it sort of went unchecked. And so now people do a better job at sort of checking these really terrible, just abhorrent statements that don't add anything to any conversation. They just make people look fucking dumb.
God, we had no reason to believe that God was the one. And by the way, a lot of you are going to hear a lot of your arguments being used in this video, and it's not my fault that atheists are ducking and dodging this stuff. Grow a set of balls, talk about this again, and we can get into it. But a lot of them are saying because of science, we can't, there's no need to attribute lightning coming from heaven, coming from a god or a deity. There's no need to believe in burning bushes that can talk, donkeys that can talk, serpents that can talk. We actually have science, and we can understand the natural world that we live in thanks to science. The problem with that is that they thought that if they educated the kids and they taught them about science. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get into that jungle jargon. This one's gonna hurt a little bit because honestly, there's nothing they can say about it because it's true. It's absolutely true. You know what I mean? But let's build up to it. And remember this jungle jargon? Science has killed God. Remember that, guys? Science.
G-Man is still living in like 2010. If y'all don't know where these arguments, like the time frame that he's working from is literally 2010. The people don't say that shit these days. Like any of the references that you hear G-Man make are dated by like a decade easily.
Has killed God. We don't have a good reason to need a God anymore. And if you just get educated with science, you'll be set free, and you'll become a skeptic, and you'll become an atheist, and you'll be like la 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 la. You know what I mean? It's like, I remember during the great debate years, jungle jargon, and I know you were there during that time, where they was teaching everybody that if you learn more about science, you'll be less of a Christian, you'll be less of a theist, and you'll be more a secular person like they are. You know what I mean? That was an argument they made a long time ago. Here's the thing. We Christians started to debate them on that topic. And you want to know what happened? Now people are using science to argue for God's existence. We have intelligent design. We can use their own evolutionary argument against them and show them that God existed. Now,
I don't miss any of this stupid shit, honestly. Like this is just I'm honestly just it's the same shit from like 10 years ago. He's repeating the same stupid ass arguments that I've debunked. Like his argument specifically that I've debunked personally years ago.
Some of them might say, "Oh, Gman, we never use evolution to try to disprove you're God." Oh, yes, you did. And then you caused one of my friends, Galaxy Dreams, to become an atheist. And you caused another person that I was semi-friends with at the
That's because they were dumb.
time, and that was Eve Real, to become an atheist.
Again, because they were dumb.
And then you want to know what happened? Eve Real started learning about science in school and came right back to theism. Came right back to theism. Galaxy started asking questions that atheists couldn't answer, came right back to theism.
It's funny, the two people he mentioned also started asking questions, or should I say, actually making statements about black people, statements that he wouldn't find too kosher. That's why I'm no longer friends, or I no longer associate with the two people he mentioned. One of them, funny enough, would make certain comments about black people, and then a black person appeared on her Facebook page and went, "Why are you saying all this stuff?" And to which I was like, just let her speak, man. Let her, give her enough rope to hang herself with. And he had messaged me and was like, "This bitch is like fucking me and my boys. Like, she is literally like just hit me up for some dick. Like, what the fuck is she talking about?" And I was like, "Word? Oh shit, okay." So it was one of those situations. Yeah, and after that, we didn't see a lot of her after that. So, and the other chick, she said some pretty questionable shit her damn self about black folks. So it's interesting that he won't tell you about that sort of stuff at all. You won't engage in that. But a lot of people that dealt with those two saw the writing on the wall with that. And But anyway, we won't talk about that.
Because I was more than willing to answer those questions. So, you all believe that science was going to kill God, but now science is being used to do two things. Science is being used to prove that God does exist, and science is actually being used to prove that evolution is a pseudoscience. That is not real science, and you have no actual evidence to support your claim. In fact, Pillbox won't even debate you until you can come up with a definition for evolution. You notice that
again, only a handful of people know who these folks are because they live on the outskirts of any community that exists on YouTube. None of these people have any fucking sense. None of them have any education. None of them have anything of substance to actually bring to any discussion. I've spoken to all of them, and I can assure you that they're fucking dumb.
America, a deeper dinosaur, and a lot of them couldn't even come up with a definition to even start a conversation with Pillbox. Thinking he didn't know nothing about transitional fossils, thinking he knew nothing about transitional forms, thinking he knew nothing about DNA, because the ongoing lie is that Christians are dumb, atheists are smart, and they are the only ones that care about science. And they have been exposed here on YouTube, on this very medium that they're trying to use to destroy Christianity and destroy theism. This medium has been used to show them that that science is proving God's existence, and it's being shown to show that even if you learn science, that you're not going to become an atheist. That evolution is a pseudoscience. Big Bang cosmology is.
So I agree with one of the statements. Learning science doesn't just make you an atheist. I think that's terrible. If you learn science, whatever that entails, that should not have a big impact on your religious beliefs. But that's just me.
Nonsense. That abiogenesis never happened. That there is no scientific evidence.
Now, you hear all these proclamations this guy's making. Mind you, he has no education to speak of, right? But if you ask him, so what sort of literature have you read about evolution? What sort of literature have you read about abiogenesis? G-Man, do you study early earth chemistry or anything like that? No, he doesn't. He couldn't tell you. It took him a few years, but he was able to tell me that proteins are made of amino acids, and I was actually impressed. I taught my son that like 3 weeks ago or some shit like that. But hey, he's 10, so G-Man's right up there, right? Just intellectually.
To support that claim whatsoever. And now we're coming after the age of the earth, and we're showing people that the earth is not as old as everybody claims it is.
Again, is it all these random or seemingly random scientific facts or factoids, the age of the earth, evolution, abiogenesis? The reason he's picked these out is because they disagree with his religious beliefs. It's not that he has any robust understanding of these topics at all. That's why he's just declaring things. He's not offering anyone any sort of evidence or even how to go about finding a way to his position. It's just him declaring it, therefore it's true, because that's how you win arguments.
And I'm not doing it by trolling people and by calling people names. I don't got to laugh at you. All I got to do is open up a biology book. That's all I got to do. All I got to do is open up a biology book, and I can prove that the earth is not as old as everybody thinks it is. That God actually made a mature earth. We can prove Noah's flood. We can.
Oh, that's actually a funny conversation. Most scholars say that it's local flood, and based on the perceptions of people at the time, they thought it was a worldwide flood because, I mean, you limited perception, you know, people of first fucking century. But this guy thinks literally that the entire world flooded. Now, there's so many issues with what would actually happen to the earth if that happened, and I've actually had a discussion with one of his buddies. Was his name Nephilim Free?
You better believe I'm going to be all over your behind. Got a mouth on me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
Yeah, it's like somebody said, follow Genie. Yeah, he just repeats arguments that he saw on the website, right? Answers in Genesis. Like he's reading verbatim what they say. Sorry, a bit new, Gman, Shanny. Do either of them ever come into Drag's live streams? No, not anymore. All of us used to go into other people's live streams, but they've known better now. Anytime that they talk to me, they look like idiots, and so they stop talking to me. That's why I have my CYA policy shit. I have my open door policy where if I talk about you, you can come on. If G-Man pops up in the chat, I'll open up test bed and you guys can hear him just like Emo. You know, I'll bring him in here. GP wants to come in, I'll open it up for him. But they know better now. They know that when they're talking to me, they're going to look stupid. And so people stop doing it. Nick James says, got my food, blame Jules. Hey, there you go. And get your basic white girl on.
Can prove that a lot of the claims that skeptics are making are not true. Amen, Jungle Jargon. He says the grandsons of Noah are the founders of all ancient civilizations. You're right about that. You're right about that. But why would an atheist come out and say, let's get into this. Why would they come out and say that it's boring?
Now, I want to know, and this you should always ask yourself this question. Anytime you hear this idiot like propose some sort of scenario, ask yourself where he got it from. That's your first question. That's what it should be. G-Man fabricates a lot of shit, almost as often as Shanny, if not more. G-Man will fabricate a person with a generic description and just sort of imbue them with different sort of, you know, questions or quandaries that he feels is easy to attack. And then he'll just sort of superimpose whatever this you know, thing that he's contrived upon someone of a similar feature. So if he creates a straw man version of a non-believer, then he's going to paint every non-believer that he sees as this fabrication he's made. So let's sort of listen to him go through this scenario and let's see if he actually qualifies it. Hey, I talked to, you know, Jimmy Dean, you know, last week outside, and he was a non-believer, and here's what he said. Right? He's not going to do that. That GIF in the lab looks to record. So the below me is actually a video. That's not a GIF. That's one of my videos, and my signal in my lab is terrible. That's why it looks like it was filmed on a potato. It'll be school. No. Well, I like to back what I say with evidence, right? I want people to come to their own conclusions, but I try to stay within a certain realm, and that if I'm speculating, I'm going to sort of preface it that this is just sort of speculation. You know, take it with a grain of salt. Unlike certain other people, you know. Anyway,
think about it. If science killed God, if science has given God the death blow, we don't have to have no good reason to believe in him. Why would they come out their mouth and say that science is boring? Like some of these people spend hours and hours and hours in college going to school so that they can get a degree in biology or chemistry or zoology or some form of
Well, so some of us who actually operate in these fields know that it can be boring, and a part of me thinks that he's heard me mention that biochemistry is boring, because I have actually said that fairly recently. And when did he? Yeah, this is April 24th. Yeah, I think he heard me say that talking to somebody else. And the fact of the matter is, biochemistry is boring. It is one of the most boring sciences out there. And one of the reasons I have this down here, I was running an assay, and half of the time was me doing math and sitting and writing, doing me explaining to people what I'm doing. But it's not really exciting. I'm taking yeast and putting it in a tube and mixing it with other stuff and repeating it 5 or 6, 20, 50 fucking times. It's not very exciting. I get results. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. But then we get to go and interpret data, because that's exciting. Like it's not an exciting field. If you've been working on something for a while, yeah, there's fun, exciting aspects to it, but that's like 1% of the time. So Gman, being someone who is far, far removed from operating in any capacity close to that, like, he wouldn't know at all. So yeah, I think that I have a good perception.
Got a mouth for me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
Who the fuck is it? Intigo Butterfly.
A degree in science. I'll get to that in a minute, Pillbox. Some of them do all of these hours in school, pay all of these hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to school to
I wonder who he's talking about.
Learn pseudoscience. Science that they cannot defend, science that they cannot prove. I was actually on the phone with somebody using real science with a friend. And I was on there
He was on the phone with somebody. He was on the phone, and they were using real science. Oh, I can't wait to hear about this.
talking to them about calories and how to burn calories, and talking about how to read nutritional panels. And
What? So they were talking about how to read nutritional panels and calories. Man, they were using the real science there.
About enzymes and what happens when you get a certain amount of enzymes in your body. What happens
when you get a certain amount of enzymes? So the way that he phrases these comments are interesting, because it sounds like he's talking about exogenous enzymes, right?
Yelling in your ear. Please don't yell.
I told him engineers is boring as well. Just because it is boring doesn't mean I or you don't love what we do. We could be stealing copper in NJ.
Right, you could be stealing copper in New Jersey. I mean, that's always fun, isn't it, G-Man? But like, G-Man thinks talking about a topic somehow, I guess, makes you proficient in that. So if I talk about biochemistry, then I can become proficient at biochemistry. And that's not how shit works at all, right? I need to go in the lab, I need to perform essays and shit.
Fun G-Man fact: the fabricated strawman atheist he debates currently lives with his fabricated wife and child, and have his fabricated college degree.
All right, I'm sorry, Wilson. All right, you comment of the day. Absolutely.
happens when you get electrolytes and how they operate and function in the body. We were talking about real science. But unfortunately...
So they were talking about nutrition, right? Which comes down, interesting enough, to biochemistry. But anyway.
When you cut your computer on, we got to hear, and when we go to these indoctrination schools, we got to keep hearing about, hey, did you know that you share a common ancestor with King Kong? Did you know that you share a common ancestor with Godzilla? Did you know that you and grass have a common ancestor? Did you know that that this stuff right here is your ancient relative? But this is what they actually teach the kids in school.
That's not what they teach the kids in schools, G-Man. That is, yeah, no, we're related to King Kong. No, not necessarily. I think you have something mixed up there.
And then they want to call you stupid if you don't believe that. Absolutely hilarious.
Now, mind you, I've offered to have a conversation with this idiot, and we can talk about enzymes. Matter of fact, I know quite a bit about enzymes.
Please don't yell.
Have a coffee on me.
I appreciate it. So what just so y'all know, we're actually going to, after I get off of here, we're going to get ready. We're going to go to Waffle House. Very swanky. The wife is feeling like Waffle House, so I'm going to grab my mother's car and I'm going to take my family to Waffle House for breakfast. And so that's what we're going to do.
But God has killed science. I'm sorry, science has killed God. No, science points to God. And they don't like that. So the misotheist and the anti-theist doesn't want to talk about it no more. Now we see the true colors of the misotheist and the anti-theist. And now all they want to do is laugh at people. All they want to do is laugh at people.
Well, that's funny. That's actually not true. There's two or three shows that I go on where we don't just laugh at people. We have conversations with them, especially people we disagree with. I go on The Line, right? That's Jimmy Snow's channel. The Hang Up, Matt Dillahunty shit. Obviously, Atheist Experience. I go on there, and we don't just laugh at people. We have conversation with them. We discuss topics. People laugh at you because you're a fucking joke. And there's a reason you're banned from those shows because, well, you're a joke. Misotheist is someone who, hates God, hates religion.
Please don't yell.
Gman put out a video where it looks like he and Jason Oldhouse. He said he was working on break. He said outside going in.
Yeah, no, he's at their house. That's been confirmed by a few people.
Well, because they're beaten. Kent Hovind
Even make the bed move anymore. You're small. You're getting smaller.
How does it make you feel that you have so psychologically scarred this man that you will probably be the last name he utters before he passes on this mortal coil? Because it amuses me.
It's kind of sad when you really sit down and think about it that I've literally left this guy alone for quite some time.
You better be going to be all over your behind. Got a mouth on me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
He thinks King Kong and Godzilla.
You better be going to be all over your behind. Got a mouth on me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
Waffle House, you have no standards. Kevin wins. Well, I thought wife is low maintenance, and she wants Waffle House. She get Waffle House. That's fine with me. But yeah, no, he will probably continue to talk about me and to think about me until he dies, probably. And it's sad. Like, he should move on with his life and do something more. But I say there's a few of us that know him in real life and have actually met and spent time with him. This is all he has. This is it. This is absolutely it, folks. He has nothing else. And if I don't take him seriously, then, for some reason that really fucking hurts him. I don't know why. I don't know why he cares. I mean, I'm tell you right now, fuck Dragnauct. You shouldn't care what I think. Fuck me. But he does. He really cares what I think for whatever reason. So I guess it'll just be SOL.
Ken Hovind has finished them. Ken Ham has finished them. Gman has finished them. Pillbox has finished them. Nephilim Free has finished them. Everybody on here who's a Christian who argues against the science on a regular basis has destroyed them. It's gotten so embarrassing that even Veckel, a person who admits he doesn't even know that much about Darwinian evolution, is.
Well, I'm waiting to see all these people, all these names. If Veckel knows better than to talk to me. I don't. Coons don't do too well with me. But G-Man, if you, I just noticed that. Hold on. Like, if any one of these cats wants to come and try and have a conversation about what they think is the case, I'm more than welcome to make time for them. Hey, let's do it. Let's talk. I go on these fucking shows. Y'all can call in. I go on The Line, The Hang Up, AXP, and I will make sure that you get through. I guarantee you. If I'm on there co-hosting, you will definitely get through. But none of these folks want to call in and have a chat with me. So I don't know where any of this shit has been happening, because I haven't been seeing it. Maybe I'm not in the right place. I don't know. Fuck.
Crush them. Listen to me. if you put me, Matt Slick, and let's say my science person was Pillbox, or it was Netflix.
His science person.
Free, or let's say it was True Empiricism. And
now, mind you, I've spoken to all of the science people that he's named. All three of those people I've spoken to multiple times. They are fucking idiots. None of them have any education to speak of. None of them have any experience in any of the fields they try to speak on. None of it at all. Not even like self-taught. Like just nothing at all. And they're fucking idiots. And they're teaching. I need to find the video. There is a video where one of the people he named, True Empiricism, is trying to teach him chemistry. That was one of the funniest videos I've ever seen to this day on YouTube. One idiot trying to teach another idiot chemistry. Now, Drag, hey, you do the biochemistry. What was it like? There's a certain series of... How can I explain this? There are concepts within the curriculum for undergraduate chemistry students that you have to understand before you move on to the fun shit. What's an example? Learn about orbitals, shit like that. You learn about the fucking PKs and all that fun shit. You learn about all the different types of bonding, right? Because it's important to understand that. And I'll give as an example, you need to understand van der Waals forces in order for you to understand protein folding when you get into biochemistry. It's very, very important in that aspect. So I think that when you keep something like that in mind, and then you listen to True Empiricism try and teach Gman chemistry, you can tell that True Empiricism struggled his damn self to come up with enough material to fit in that time slot, because he's just rattling off random factoids that he can remember from a dated fucking nursing book that he picked up from a fucking gas station or some shit. I don't know, or not a bus stop, I think it was. But it was sad. It was absolutely fucking pathetic that would pass off as education or educational or edify or anything other than a fucking joke. And I've invited True Empiricism to come talk to me if he wants to. Aaron Massa remembers the highlight. The highlight of that was True Empiricism trying to explain a process called hydrolysis, and phonetically it looks like hydrolysis. I think they might have been talking about. Was it amino acid bonding? Because I know it precipitates a water, but they might have been talking. I think they were talking about that. I don't remember. But Gman, being the astute fucking learner that he is, ended up saying hydraulics. Now they're talking about cells, and Gman, he said it like 5 or 6 times. I learned. True Empiricism taught me everything I know about hydraulics, and I'm just like, bro, you're not gonna correct him? Like, he's clearly not saying hydrolysis. And at no point did this fucking genius go, hey, I think I misheard you. It sounded like you said hydraulics, like on a fucking car. But no, they're just absolutely dumb. One of the fun things that we ended up doing to his buddy, True Empiricism, his science guru, is we ended up typing up. We made a transcript of, and this is before Google did it automatically. We sat down, and it took me about 15 minutes to make a transcript of probably just paragraphs worth of this guy trying to explain something in chemistry. And if I can find it, I'm going to read it out to you all, because it's terrible. It's fucking terrible. One thing, he can't articulate himself to save his life. Second of all, the stuff that he's talking about, the different type of bonding that you can have in a molecule, none of it related to what he was trying to get at. And you could tell he was trying his best to remember enough factoids to sound like he was talking about something that meant something significant, when in reality it wasn't. It's just imagine if your kid if you ask your kid what did he like about school throughout the entire year, he's just going to go through and remember all the like recess and lunch and shit like that. Nothing academic, right? He's going to mention all the superfluous shit like that he enjoys. That's what it sounded like. That's the closest I can sort of give you as far as an analogy. But it was shitty.
Yeah, I know true empiricism ain't no joke. You know what I mean? Any one of these guys in the room with me, and you can name any 3 atheists. You can have any 3 atheists you want in the room. It could be Dillahunty, Seth Andrews, and Thunderfoot, or it can be
none of those people. Well, Thunderfoot may want. I've not spoken to Thunderfoot in years, but I can tell you, Seth Andrews does not want to talk to him. Matt Dillahunty does not want to talk to him. Aaron Raw does not want to talk to him. You want to know why? Because we talk. So I can tell you for a fact that these guys don't want to talk to him, except Thunderfoot. Thunderfoot may want to entertain him just for shits and giggles.
Matt Dillahunty, Thunderfoot, and Sam Harris or whatever. It doesn't matter. They are going to get destroyed if you put the 3 of us in the room versus the 3 of them. I'm just keeping it 100% real. You can get Concordance, you can get Prudence, you can get J.D. Kane, but J.D. Kane is not much of a scientist or a debater or anything like that. He knows about science, but he don't really know a lot about this. I mean, for crying out loud, they couldn't even beat Matt Bell for crying out loud. You know what I mean? So Matt Bell used to destroy these guys on those topics. They couldn't even beat Shannon Rocky, who's a deist and is an excellent debater. And there's a video on YouTube where there's literally like 9 of them in the room with Shannon Rocky, and she literally embarrasses all 9 of them. They'll be dead on arrival, exactly. They'll be dead on arrival. You know what I mean? So the bottom line is this. Why is science boring? How do you create an atheist in America? If you've been listening to these scientific atheists on YouTube, get a degree in biology, learn about evolution, learn about abiogenesis, learn about the natural world that we live in, and you'll become an atheist. No, the exact opposite is happening. People are becoming theists. A lot of atheists are leaving atheism for Christianity and various different religions. When Vaughn was on his channel, he was talking about how he was going to become pagans or whatever. You know what I mean? But they want to come out here and say science is boring. Of course it's boring. I've been saying that for years. It's very boring.
Some sciences are boring. Other sciences are not. There's one ecology class that I know of where they actually go to the Amazon and they do experiments. Like that's hard to be boring if you're literally in the Amazon, but that's just me.
It's very boring to sit around listening to, hey guys, this is how the world got started. One day we had this complex chemical soup, and then lightning hit it, and then the first living cell came about. And then this was the next one. Class, you are all amphibians. You are all fish. You are all...
So, some of y'all probably wondering, is there an actual class on abiogenesis? In some universities, there are classes, it's a chemistry course from what I've seen, and it's not, at least in my university, it's not taught very often, but it's early Earth chemistry, something or other, and they do discuss the different aspects of sort of what we know so far about what was the geology like, what was, just the conditions of early Earth and how we know this to be the case, or we believe to be the case, or whatever. And from what I read of just the sort of like the synopsis of the course, or the course description, I should say, it looked pretty interesting. I've never taken a course like that, so I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about. In my undergrad, abiogenesis was mentioned. I could probably count on one hand how many times it was ever mentioned. It was never really a feature. It was never really important at all, right? Getting people to understand the sort of the philosophy, right? The methodology about how science is conducted. Why we have p-value or whatever. Getting people to just pipette correctly was way more important than the shit that he thinks. Because mind you, he's never actually had a science course at the collegiate level. Like that's not a part of his life. So he's only guessing as to what happens. And as somebody who is helping to like remake some of the curriculum,
You better
I
I
can tell you from first-hand experience.
and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
So he's talking out of his ass. I mean, like he always does. Remember, he closed to 50 people can't wait. Remember, he closed to 50 people can't drive. What? I don't get that.
All apes, according to your taxonomic classifications. And evolution is true because we have overwhelming evidence that evolution is true. And we know that it's true because we have all these transitional fossils. We have DNA, we have the cell, and we have and then a real scientist showed up and go, wait a minute, hold on a minute, oh, wait a second, time out. Wait a minute. Did you just say that I'm a fish, I'm an ape, and then I'm an amphibian because of a
Right, so he says the real science. Who are the real scientists? I want to know.
taxonomic classification? That's not science. That's wishing upon a star. That's all that is. Science deals with observation and experimentation. If you can't prove using the scientific method, or if you can't prove it using some form of science that I share a common ancestor, or that I actually am an ape and a fish and an amphibian all at the same time, because of taxonomic classification.
So this has been explained to this cat for like the last 8 years. We tried to explain taxonomy to him. I've personally been in a museum with this idiot and walked him through some very basics of genetics. And there's actually, I think I saw a few people too who were there for that. We tried to explain, but when I say that he's just dumb, this is just one of those cases of someone's just too dumb to learn it. And a lot of it also has to do that he has to come to a certain conclusion because of his religious beliefs. So there's that aspect of it too.
Then you're preaching a religion to me, and that's not real science. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth.
Yelling in your ear. Please don't yell.
Sorry, close to being 50 years old, people. And he cannot dive.
He cannot dive, right? He has to stay in the shallow end. I absolutely agree.
I find that to be boring too. If anybody come to me and goes, but my 400 million great grandfather was a fish.
You better believe I'm going to be all over your behind. Got a mouth for me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
Stop insulting me, Drag. Thank you through empiricism.
Or some of them will go in there and say that you're an ape. Or some of them will say that you're a turtle, or that you're a dog, or you're a cat, or you're a feline. Or
Yelling in your ear. Please don't yell.
No, Gary, science isn't boring. You are listening to someone that thinks men's nipples tell us where to go and detoxes our bodies is boring.
Yes, if y'all don't know, Gman did actually say that men's nipples were for navigation. I'll have to find that video. I think the VGTV or somebody else played that. Gman actually believes that guys have nipples for navigation purposes. He doesn't realize that all of us start off as female, and that there's a series of signal cascades that turn us male. That's why if you look at our perineum, you can see where our what was once a vagina has now closed into a scrotum. So there we go. But explaining this to an imbecile is kind of difficult.
you're a bear, because taxonomic classification.
And what he's talking about here is called a nested hierarchy. Again, this has been explained to him multiple times over the internet and in person. He's still repeating the same stupid shit.
Of course, that's boring. I would fall asleep in class going through that. Listen to me. Can we talk about something interesting? This is so boring. Can we talk about real science? I didn't come to the school to learn about your religion. I came here to learn about science.
I would pay money.
You better believe I'm going to be all over your behind. Got a mouth for me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
I could drive if my couch could fit in the car. Aww.
Real science, not that nonsense that these knuckleheads are starting to be ashamed about. Look at how many atheists are running for their life. They're trying to get away from.
I am David Atten.
Responsibility for the
to GT.
Okay, sorry about that. My mouse definitely fell. Where were we?
Oh man, I can't wait till I make that link available. Hey, let's do Bring It Evolutionists. Hey, well, I know Evolutionists bringing it today.
So I'm not interested in participating in any of his fucking dog and pony shows, because the second you get a point in, he starts fucking. Yeah, I saw Hitomi Tanaka's live. The second you start getting a point in, he wants to mute you, and that's why again, if y'all want to participate in shit like that, go for it. But I'm not playing those games. Like I can be doing real science instead of talking to this fucking moron, because I have for years.
Gman, they're too busy laughing at you because you are a black man talking at night, so they're laughing at you.
Again, who said that? Who? He can't name who's actually making these comments.
You better want to be all over your behind. Got a mouth on me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
What's this? He can't drive. Why is he out walking late at night? Yeah, that's because he doesn't. There's a story behind why he can't drive, and definitely has nothing to do with the fact that he's inept. But there's always a story as to why he can't do adult things.
I thought they cared about science. I thought they wanted us to get more educated. I thought that they want they want people to understand the ins and outs of biology and chemistry and astronomy and zoology and paleontology. I thought they knew so much. I mean, look at how much time Arnold Rod's wasting his life by getting on the internet and saying, "Hey guys, I know you think science is boring, but did you know that the taxonomic classifications prove that evolution is true?" Erica's wasting her time. Hey guys, science is so exciting.
Actually, that's a good question. That's a good question, Agrippa. How much time is spent on evolution? I could probably mention 3 classes that reference it. So yeah, so the intro, the very first like biology class, like for biology majors you take, and the second one, you'll so when you take a genetics course, you will inevitably mention evolution. Outside of that,
Please don't yell. Please don't yell.
Gman thinks college is an arena where students fight professors in death matches.
Right, but that's the sort of attitude that he has. Now it can be contentious. You can act like, depending on what the class is, put forward some very contentious topics. But in a general lecture class, no, that's not the case. He's not. What science is he specifically referring to? He just named a bunch, right? So he mentions evolution, and then he claims that it's like this foundation that you have to accept in order to, I guess, do anything else, which isn't true. You can just say whatever and continue doing what you're doing. I don't need to accept evolution to do the lab work down here. I understand that the basis by which a lot of the information that I have about my enzymes comes from our knowledge of how enzymes evolve, but it's not a real big feature. But you're talking to somebody, again, who has never actually taken any biology courses or chemistry courses, anything like that at the collegiate level. So he's guessing. He has no fucking idea at all.
Let's talk about the wonderful world of canines. I know she's probably laughing with me doing that. And Deeper Dinosaur is probably like, G-Man, you're such a jerk. Science is cool. It rocks. No, it doesn't. Not the kind of science that you guys are talking about. The kind of science you guys are talking about puts people to sleep, and it bores them to death. That's why I agree with you.
I've had biology courses that bored me to death, too. I mean, not all of my classes are fucking exciting. It happens. I think it was Lab for the Eukaryotic Gene. Or, I'm sorry, no. Yeah, what was it? It was either Methods of Biotechnology or Eukaryotic Gene Expression. One of those two, I fell asleep almost every class. But I also fell asleep in American history, like routinely, because a guy had like an ASMR voice, and he put me to sleep. I don't know what to tell you. But it happens. Like, not every class is going to be fucking exciting.
You, when you say science is boring, you're wasting your...
Oh, Nestle, you got to play catch up, man. Nobody actually said it. He's being vague again. He created this comment. I think that he created straw atheists out of something I may have said about the shit that I was doing. Because just based on, because he made this April 24th, and I think that was around the time where I was telling people, yeah, biochemistry is really not that exciting, right? It's actually kind of boring. Well, that's sort of a joke between me and one of my former PIs, where he was like, yeah, he was saying, why did you have your wife in the lab with you? All this stuff is boring. And I agree with him. It was boring. It wasn't very exciting. But that's science, right? The shit that you see in movies and stuff, where you see beakers and you see stuff boiling and they're different colors and shit like that. That's an organic chemistry lab. And even in an organic chemistry lab, you're not going to have shit like that happen all the time, right? It's just people's perceptions are based on fucking media and not reality. It's like when you see me doing shit down here, I'm drawing a figure, I think, of paranitrophenol phosphate, and I'm explaining what that is and what the enzyme does. Like, that's not very exciting, at least not to me.
Your time going to school and learning biology and chemistry and zoology and paleontology and archaeology. You're wasting your time. I totally agree with you that you're wasting your time.
So going to school, getting an advanced degree in these areas is a waste of time, according to Gman.
I absolutely agree with you that you're wasting your time, because you can't prove none of it. Most atheists don't even know the 4 phases of the moon.
Like, who gives a shit? Like, I'm not into, like, astronomy, so why would I give a shit?
You can't tell me why the moon looks like that right now, unless they look on Google. They can't tell me that. You know what? I would love to hear some plant science from some of these.
That's cool. My first undergraduate research experience was in plant biochemistry. Cool. That's right up my alley.
From some of these online atheists.
If you want to find a boring fucking topic, plant biochemistry is probably at the top of the list. CRISPR, you might disagree. I think there's a few other science types in the chat. Plant biochemistry has to be the most boring science you can ever do. Like, it's like, come on. At least in other areas, you get to work with stuff that reacts to stimulus, and like actually reacts, like when you stab them. But plant biochemistry it's way up there, and like, oh my god, you're growing the plant, you're harvesting them, and then you're doing fucking columns on them and shit. Just, oh, okay, that's cool.
I wonder how much they understand trees and grass and flowers, tulips, and things like that. I wonder how much science they really understand. I wonder if they understand what a legume is. I wonder if they
what is
trees and grass and flowers, tulips, and things like that. I wonder how much science they really understand. I wonder if they understand what a legume is. I wonder if they
Does he mean a legume? A legume? What? Let me see. Hold on. Closed caption. It says linguine, like the fucking noodle, like a linguine. Look, y'all see it? Let me change this. Y'all see, understand what a linguine is? Like a fucking noodle? I know what that is. I order that when I go to Red Lobster. I know exactly what that is. Joke's on you, motherfucker. Ha ha ha.
Understand why enzymes are so important and how they break down in your body and how they help you digest your food. I wonder if they understand it. I wonder if they understand what...
That's crazy he mentions that. Actually, one of the research projects I'm working on has to do with an enzyme. Oh man, it's almost like, my alkaline phosphatase fucking research has a direct fucking correlation to cancer biology too. Oh man, it's like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? Yeah, I think he means this is so sad.
What a mineral is, and what minerals do in your body when they get in your body. I wonder if they understand the importance of vitamins and the combination of vitamins that they're taking.
Again, it sounds like he's talking about biochemistry.
I wonder if they understand calories and how they work and how to burn them out of your body, how much energy one has to burn in order to get rid of even just 1 calorie. I wonder how many of them understand water and the importance of water, how much our body is made up of water.
Imagine, those of us science types, we have no idea how any of this shit works.
I wonder if they understand any of this stuff, because all they keep talking about is their imaginary pseudoscience that none of them can actually prove. I wonder if they understand breeding. I wonder if they understand any of these things.
Understand breeding, man. Oh, what are gametes? How do they work?
I'm just curious, because all they know how to do is he, ha, ha, ha. That takes a lot of effort, ladies and gents, to go.
It does.
Takes a lot of effort to do.
Yeah, see this shit, it hurts him. It really hurts him that we acknowledge that he's a fucking joke. I'm not going to sit and pretend like this idiot can understand the research that I do. But just to be fair, a lot of people don't, because it's not in their area, right? Who cares? You're taking phosphates off of shit. Who gives a fuck? But he wants people to sort of treat him like a peer, like he's one of my colleagues. Like some of y'all who watched the lab video down there, you've seen one of my colleagues, Katya, right? She and I sit down and we talk shop about the alkaline phosphatase enzyme, or we'll talk about the PMA mutants that she's making for her yeast strains, or I'll talk about my AFT1 mutants for my yeast strains, right? We'll talk shop like that, because she and I have comparable level of knowledge in these areas. But Gman wants to be on that level, but then he doesn't want to educate himself. So what are you supposed to do, right? I have this fucking idiot who can barely pronounce shit, like talking down to me as if he understands this shit. Like, come on now. No. Once you get to a certain level, I'm talking to people with PhDs about how to better myself and how to perform better experiments, and how to write better experiments too, and not do stupid shit like I'm not even going to go into detail about. So because I had one of the adjuncts read one of my protocols and ask me why I wrote something down, and I explained to him, well, that's what I did, and he said, well, why didn't you just put the reagents in there and then just bring the buffer up to the level of it, like, yeah.
Please don't yell.
Wasn't everything he mentioned learned in high school?
Yes, all he has is a high school education, right? And that's great. Like, if that's all people have, but it's weird for him to talk about what happens at a collegiate level when he's not actually participated in those classes at a collegiate level, right? That's like me saying, "Oh yeah, I know what happens during special forces training. I've never had special forces training, so how would I actually know what goes on?"
Do that. Nah, I think it takes more effort to get an education and actually learn something and do something with yourself. I think it takes a lot more energy to do something like that. So we'll be getting the return of true empiricism. We'll be getting the return of...
Oh, good. I can't wait. True. Buddy, I know you still watch me, bro. It's funny, my actual research has a lot to do with ATP synthase. I want you to teach me all about it, True. I can't fucking wait. Now that I have yeast mutants sitting in my lab right now that have broken subunits on their fucking ATP synthase. So I want you to teach me all about that, True. I can't fucking wait for that, because I'm gonna make you a co-author. You're gonna be a co-author on the paper. I promise.
Nephilim free, and I know when Neph comes in the room, ain't nobody coming in my room. Yo, I ain't going in there talking to Nephilim free, man. I got a degree in science. Neph don't, so I'm not going in there. Nephilim free might embarrass me. I can't wait to hear y'all excuses. I absolutely can't wait. I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait.
I can't wait to laugh either.
Nephilim Free, I think, is live right now. He was live a couple of hours ago. True empiricism. I talked to him on the regular. Okay, and then Tommy Hall is still on here. He still watches what goes on here and whatnot and everything. Tommy Hall is awesome when it comes to cancer and talking about detoxifying the body, because if you really want to get rid of cancer in your body, it's about detoxifying your body. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Not going and getting radiated and trying to burn it out with chemotherapy, man. Yeah, I better get hip to that B17. I'm telling you, yeah, I better.
Right. So don't do chemotherapy, which now they actually have targeted. I think they're calling it targeted chemotherapy, where it's not the carpet bomb it used to be. There's several different types of interventions now for various types of cancer, depending on whether it's a solid mass or not. But anyway, he is advocating here that people not get proper medical treatment, but instead take the extract of a fucking apricot seed and consume that, because that's definitely not poisonous. There's definitely not a nitrile group there that will end up, fucking poisoning you. Listen to this guy on your fucking health. That's what you need to do. Absolutely.
You get hip. You better get hip to it. You better get hip to it.
You should take the whole bottle if you're so confident.
Then we're going to be talking about Magic Johnson. And this is going to be the big question we're going to be asking. Does Magic Johnson actually have AIDS? Does he have HIV?
Now we're getting to the big question. I'm about to end this stupid shit and go hang out with my fucking family. Fuck this idiot.
I don't know. Most people on here even know this. Because I remember I was alive when they first diagnosed him with HIV. How is this man not dead yet?
Antivirals. He gets his fucking shit checked regularly. I don't know. It's not Eazy-E where it was like fucking critical when he finally went to the hospital. Right? No, Magic Johnson immediately got help for his condition and has been on several drugs. I think it's cocktail drugs since the 90s. That's why he's still alive. That's why there's tons of people. There's people in my Discord who have had AIDS for 15, 20 years. And they're still alive. So
it took them a long time to come up with the medication just to keep him alive or whatever. I'm calling baloney on Magic Johnson's diagnosis. And that man was cured a long time ago. I don't care what nobody said. If I met him, I would not be wearing gloves and I wouldn't worry about blood.
Would you let him fuck you in the ass without a condom? Would you suck his dick? I mean, if you're confident that he doesn't have AIDS, then let him expose you. Let his body fluids be exposed to one of your many orifices. However you please. I'm pretty sure you'll jump at the prospect. But if you honestly think that man does not have HIV, then hey, swap some spit with him. I'm just saying.
You better look, going to be all over your behind. Got a mouth on me too, and I know how to use it.
Nigga, you gay.
Yeah, I don't think saliva is a very good route for HIV. I don't think it's impossible, but I don't think it's the best route. Isn't he dead because of science? Well, he isn't dead because of science. Exactly. Like that's the irony, right? But this again, you're talking to an idiot.
Contact because I'm.
Yeah. So James McNeil, this is something that a lot of people have expressed. Let me read it out. Fuck this asshole. He's gonna kill someone. I've been through chemo. It's hard. It sucks. It saved my damn life. Yeah, a lot of people have, James. Some people more fortunate than others. I've all the stuff that he's mentioning here, I've corrected. I personally corrected it. He doesn't care. He cares about what he wants to believe because he's a fucking idiot that no one should ever take seriously. And so it's interesting the people he turns to for advice and as his science gurus, because I've spoken to them as well, and they're just as dumb as he is. And so unfortunately there are people who do listen to this, and like I say, if you're listening to this idiot talk to himself in the middle of the night for your medical health, then you probably have worse problems than that. So most rational people know that this guy is not qualified in any way, shape, or form to give any advice about any fucking thing to anybody.
Man don't got no AIDS. I'm telling you that right now. He don't got no HIV either. You got to get HIV before you can get AIDS. I got to say that, because if I don't, then these knuckleheads are going to go, J-Man doesn't understand AIDS. And in order for them to make that point, they got to cut up what I said and they'll talk about the full point that I talked about. Hashtag intimidation. Hashtag Gman intimidates fake pseudoscientific atheists.
He has to hype himself up like this. This is sad. Anyway, that's it, folks. I'm done with this idiocy. I'm going to go eat some Waffle House and spend some time with the family, and then we're going to go see a movie. So fuck this shit. I'll see y'all later.
The announcement is this. I'm going to be doing a Google Hangout next Friday. Not today, but next Friday. And that particular Google Hangout will be focused on primarily one thing. I'm asking everyone to bring their own personal rap to this particular Google Hangout.
I'm gonna expose myself on YouTube. I'm gonna make a YouTube video embarrassing myself.
Thank
you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I got to tell you about the fabulous, most groovy
Gman. Gman. You know you're breaking the law right now. I will stomp a mud hole in you, sir.
I am not playing Dragnauct.
My name is Gman.
You got the audacity. You're going to jail. You got the audacity.
My name is Gman.
You got the audacity. That's all I got to say. You got the audacity. I stole $3,000. You got the audacity. You got the because you don't got no evidence.
My name is Gman. My name is Gman.
No big business can I be?
My name is Gman. My name is Gman.
Baby. You can't beat me in fighting. You can't beat me in chemistry. You can't beat me in biology. You can't even walk better than me. You can't outrun me. Dude, you can't even out-talk me. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey City.
Gman.
You got the audacity. You're going to jail. You got the audacity.
My name is Gman.
You got the audacity. That's all I got to say. You got the audacity. I stole $3,000. You got the audacity. You got the audacity. Because you don't got no evidence.
My name is Gman. My name is Gman.
No big business can I be?
My name is Gman. My name is Gman.
Baby. You can't beat me in fighting. You can't beat me in chemistry. You can't beat me in biology. You can't even walk better than me. You can't outrun me. Dude, you can't even out-talk me. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey City. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries.